Have you ever tried to negotiate a treaty for your country? Maybe not. Well, if you ever do, play it cool. You know, don't act too eager to make a deal. This would have been good advice for Robert Livingston, the American ambassador to France. On the afternoon of April 11th, 1803, Livingston was sitting in the office of the French foreign minister. The two men were chatting politely until the Frenchman cut in with an offer that nearly knocked Livingston out of his chair. Might as well start here. This is a good place to start a book about the American West. Because as Robert Livingston sat in Paris that day in 1803, the land we call the West wasn't actually part of the United States yet. When Americans said the West back then, they meant Kentucky and Tennessee. That was about to change. In fact, Livingston's trip to France set off a series of events that quickly changed the size and shape of the United States and the location of what we think of as the West. Here's how it happened. Step 1. Ask for New Orleans. As our story begins, the French controlled the territory of Louisiana, a vast chunk of land stretching from the Mississippi River all the way to the Rocky Mountains. At the southern tip of this territory was the city of New Orleans. When American farmers shipped their goods down the Mississippi, their ships had to pass through New Orleans before reaching the sea. This made Americans nervous. What if France suddenly shut this port to American shipping? The French could do it at any moment. They had a much more powerful military than did the young United States. Terrified of losing their route to the sea, American farmers demanded action from Congress. Terrified of losing their jobs, members of Congress demanded action from President Thomas Jefferson. Every eye in the United States is now fixed on this affair of Louisiana, Jefferson moaned. Perhaps nothing since the Revolutionary War has produced more uneasy sensations through the body of the nation. So Jefferson gave the ambassador, Robert Livingston, a new assignment. Convince the French to sell New Orleans to the United States. That explains what Livingston was doing in the office of Charles de Talleyrand, the foreign minister of France, on April 11, 1803. Talleyrand listened to Livingston's request. Then he suddenly said, "Would you Americans wish to have the whole of Louisiana?" This was the point at which Livingston was in danger of collapsing. By the whole of Louisiana, Talleyrand meant France's massive empire in North America. Livingston thought. Might be nice to add all that land to the United States. But Jefferson's orders were, buy New Orleans, not buy half a continent. No, Livingston finally managed to say. Our wishes extend only to New Orleans. But Talleyrand would not drop the subject. I should like to know what you would give for the whole, he insisted. Sensing he was being offered the deal of a lifetime, Livingston pulled a number out of the air. 20 million francs, about $4 million. Talleyrand waved the figure away as if swatting a fly. Much too low, he said. He told Livingston to think it over and get back to him with a serious offer.